all the way. I think when it comes to talk about power and how the Kenya power has been learned, probably most of the time, is because of that issue of monopoly. When there is issue of demand and supply, you realize that Kenya power doesn't have, even the zeal to push itself to make sure that their product and whatever they're trying to move is that because of the lack of competition within the market, and therefore they have really increased the cost of power, and the cost of power affects so many issues, especially now because even of the dry season that we have been having and relying probably on borehole water, especially for so many people within the city. You realize that even the boreholes, the water companies are not able to supply water because of the cost of the power. And therefore, it also affects the livelihood of our people in one way or the other. We must reintroduce, even as a government and the Kenya Kwanza, we must make sure that we detach and we deny Kenya Power the monopoly of supplying. We must introduce other companies. We must make sure that other companies are brought in on book so that at least the people and the cartels that has been controlling Kenya Power can be dealt with once and for all. If they have the majority shareholding, they are the same people who are benefiting from this high cost of living. And sometimes you wonder what is happening around our nation today. Some people saying that the cost of living has really skyrocketed. Some of these costs of the Kenya Power is what was making life difficult and hard. And I want to support the motion because the cost of the Kenya Power is making the cost of living unattainable. Manufacturers are closing down, going to other countries whereby the power of production is low. They can be able to maximize their profit. If you compare the cost of the tariffs from our country to Tanzania, to Uganda, and other, even to Ethiopia, you realize that major industrialists, people are closing down from our country and taking business to other countries. And that affects our country in a huge way. Lack of employment is a serious issue. Lack of taxation, because when the companies close and go to other countries, even the amount of money that they were paying for taxes to our country, they're not able to pay because now they will take that money to other countries. These industries produces goods within our localities. Therefore, we are able to employ as many people as we can within our country. So this issue must be dealt with once and for all. The issue of cartels, if we are not able to control, as Kenya Kwanza government, the cartels in Kenya Power, the issue of corruption, you wonder how a company that has monopoly of business, charging people huge bills, it's making losses. And sometimes you try to think that, we live in a different world. And these companies, no one is arrested. You are told that Kenya Power made a loss of about 34 billion. They are the only people who are competing against themselves. They are not able even to make sure that, because even they are doing some of the issues like direct procurement even without following the law. So therefore, I urge this House to support this motion, and we make sure that we come up with a policy. And we support this motion to make sure that Kenya Power has been denied the monopoly of doing business. This the cost of living cannot be dealt with without dealing with Kenya Power, Madam Speaker. And therefore, you realize that the issue of electricity affects the economy. And if you are not able to produce, if you are not able to support manufacturers, if you are not able to even irrigate, because when we talk about the food production, we are talking about irrigations. And for us to irrigate even our farms, because we can no longer rely on rain season, we now have to think of a way to make sure that we plant season, we irrigate our farms so that we can be able to produce food, so that we can also be able to sell and sustain the people within the country. Therefore, Madam Speaker, if we don't deal with the issue of Kenya Power, it is going to bring this country down. And that is what is happening. We have seen people going to Andamana on Monday, and now they're saying they'll be doing it again on Thursday because of the high cost of living. This issue, if it will have to be dealt with, and even as Kenya Kwanza, we must make sure we deal with the issue of demand and supply. We must deal with the issue of monopoly of Kenya Power. We must streamline Kenya Power, whether it is to bring new board and make sure that those people who have been brought on book have the interest of people at heart.